Is rental property worth it? Is property investment still worth it today? This is what we are going to talk about. But first, this is a liquidation letter that I've been shown by a property developer that went into a bankruptcy for a property that is bought by my customer 5 years ago. So let's go through that. As you can see, because the property developer has gone into a liquidation or bankruptcy stage, they have appointed a liquidator. Now this is a subsidiary liquidator. It's a so-called R&M, receivers as manager, that's been appointed to liquidate all the assets of the developer. And this is normally done by an accounting firm. As you can see here, developer was wound up by Kuala Lumpur High Court under the company's winding up. And then you say that this letter was actually sent out by the liquidator, right? And the liquidator says normally it's the director of the company on behalf, of this their accounting firm. So they say that they are the receiver and managers for the bank over the assets and the undertakings of the property developer, pursuant to the powers contained in the debenture dated in favor of the bank, right? As you're aware, the project has to date not been completed by the developer. And for the purpose of exploring the possibility of rehabilitating the project and for other purpose related to therefore in connection with the personal data collected or rather the developer during your course of dealing with the developer will be processed by the receiver and the manager, which is like the liquidator, and share or discuss with other parties, right, during the process. So this is just a letter informing the buyer, in this case is my client, to say that don't be surprised if you get calls from certain parties relating, because it's a buyer owner, he owes money to the bank still. The loan everything has been signed, but after 5 years the project was only half completed, right? So this again, not a lot of people know this. Not probably if it will happen to you, probably it will not. But this is an example of some of the worst case scenario in property investing that could actually happen to you. To answer the question of whether rental property or investment property is still worth it or not. Now the question now you might have is what is going to happen to you. Obviously, if the project is already started, then there will be certain money already dispersed from the banks to the developer. So every money that is dispersed from the bank to the developer, basically now it's a time whereby you start to owe that kind of money to the bank. Now here's the thing. In summary, the bank will hold you liable for the loan, whatever amount, or even the entire loan that you owe, right, which has been dispersed to the developer. So you need to pay, but end of the day, you will get nothing. Like literally nothing. Is the property. There's nobody who are actually taking over that property because the developer is in liquidation. So they are trying to restructure that by asking another developer to take over. Now that is how bad these so-called some of these property projects in Malaysia. Most of these not in the news, but if you're the investor, surely you know, which is why it's not a bed of roses when it comes to property investment in Malaysia. So if bank is going to really enforce the loan agreement. Of course, banks being a business entity, you wouldn't expect them to have some level of pity for you, because end of the day, can you imagine you'll be paying, end of the day you have to owe paying bank to get nothing in return. So what you're going to do? Such question to ask is, do you have the capability to actually settle the loan? Now, losing 100 ringgit is not painful when you have 10,000. But the thing is, if you only have 200 ringgit, then losing 100 ringgit is huge. Similarly, if this is a 500,000 of loan, if the bank already dispersed, say 300,000 or 60% to the developer, basically on your name there is a 300,000 money that you owe to the bank. So you got to say just pay this 300,000, right, to bank, or else banks going to actually say that you don't pay up, you're overdue on your payment. And a lot of people actually refuse to pay because they say that the property is already underwater. I got no property, why should I pay? But the consequences is banks going to blacklist you, right? And this will actually be reflected in your credit report, credit rating. It's going to affect your credit rating a lot. So in the future, you want to get a new credit card application, you want to get personal loan, mortgage, car loan and all that, you will really have a serious problem by then. So you see, in property investment, it is not about how much you gain. And I hope this perspective, which is very less talked about, will help you answer the question whether property investment or rental property is still worth it or not today. It is really about how you handle and solve such shitty situation when this happens. Like this is one of the, when the shit hits the fan, the property developer go bankrupt, the project are halfway done, but the loan is already dispersed. That is where the onus is on you. The dealings now is between you and the bank. This makes problem like,
Ayo, I cannot rent my property, or my property, I know I'm paying a loan of 2,000, but then my rental is only 1,000. Or, sometimes people say, ayo, my property, the capital appreciation, it just goes up too slowly.
All this problem becomes a first world problem compared to what I just showed you in the beginning. This is just to prove to you, I've seen endless accounts from real people that come to me to pay me money, advice to say that how much of a hit, what should I do going forward? Because the irony is, they probably get this recommendation from a real estate agent or even like a property guru, bulk purchase arrangement. But you go back to property guru or real estate agent, they cannot help. I mean, they can't. We can't. Now, I'm not saying that we can help from the legal standpoint of it, because we can't help. But at least we have to evaluate the risk assessment, like how much that's going to affect your personal financial planning. probably you plan for early retirement, but this kind of thing happen, it's going to affect you a lot. Sometimes we can solve, to get it better, at least to, when it can be recoupable, but there's no guarantee. Most of the clients also tell me that it's really, property investment and rental property, if they have known that these are the kind of risks that could happen to them, they would not have started in the first place. So if you are just starting, you might just become wiser by learning from the mistake of other people instead of losing time and money going through this mistake on your own and learn from it. Which really, if any people come to me for one-on-one advisory, this is the thing that the value add that we are going to give to them. If you're already invested in a property and you don't exactly face the same problem, but if your property is having like an issue whereby the rental are stagnating, it's not really going up on the pricing, and you wonder whether you should sell it now or how much longer you should actually hold it. Now, a quick pause. Are you unsure how much longer you should hold onto your worst performing real estate investment property, or whether you'll be better off selling it as soon as possible? You get tired of attending property investment seminar by property gurus who are still trying to convince you property investment is still as easy and profitable as 5 years or 10 years ago. Well, they might be right, or they might have their own agenda for saying so. Want a non-biased second opinion? I'm conducting an online web class this week to answer this burning question. You are also going to discover if your property is at risk of not able to increase your tenant's rental in the future. If you feel you are going to benefit from these out-of-the-box insider insights, click on the link in the description below after you finish watching this video, and it will bring you to a page that looks like this. No credit card required, but availability is limited. We get filled very fast. Seats are reserved on a first-come, first-served basis. But here's another fact. It's very hard if you come to me and you really spotted a good deal because your friend or relative told that to you. At the point at when you want to plug in your money, you come to me for advice and you ask me, Leo, is this property good or not? Likely, I can give you some second opinion, but most of the time, as a friend, as an advisor, how am I going to tell you? Even if I'm going to tell you because I see some red flags on the property that you want to buy, it's so ironic. Most people is going to buy them anyway. Why? Because they think, hey Liu, this is a good opportunity because you only see the good side of it. And then you thought that for me giving you a second opinion, asking you not to buy, you thought I am actually preventing you from getting rich from property investment. The Chinese say, 你阻止我發財. Now, I also wanted to show you this S-curve. Now, this is I think it's a statistical concept where if you look at it, prior to 2010, when property investment market is not as hot as after that, when it became like 2010, 2013, it started actually very slow, and not too many people are buying property. So the rental doesn't really go up as fast, and the property value also doesn't go up as fast. From the period of 2010 to 2013, this is where the rental, the capital, the property price, and also the number of people who are interested to invest, to buy, or to speculate on property goes up exponentially. What we call is follow the herd, right? It goes up exponentially over here, and then fast forward 10 years, we are in 2020 and going forward, these kinds of taper off, as you can see. So the rental has been stagnating, the property price has been going down or stagnating, so it just tapers off. Of course, the demand for property is always there, but you know that people who really are able to make good money from property also kind of reduces and tapers off. So this is what we call as an S-curve. A lot of people do not even know this exists. There's a euphoria. From 2010 to 2013, there's a rapid exponential increase in the success story. Tom, Dick, and Harry, or even Monkey also can make money from property. So you draw in crowds who are genuine investors, genuine property owners, buyers, speculators, everyone. Then by 2015, it start to actually tapers off. You can also correspond this S-curve by the total gain from the property, including your accumulated rental income and capital appreciation as well over here. The numbers start to decline, and it's, of course, fast forward to 2020, it is sustained. It's only sustained by really the real demands by genuine buyers and sellers who continue to want property for their own stay, especially landed property. Which is why I've been telling people now, if you can, you probably really want to seriously consider selling it. Now, because I'm like a dark knight in property investing, everyone, those property gurus and all that, even today, they're still trying to entice and confuse or blindside or hoodwink you to say property is still very good investment. There's still a big opportunity over here. But I'm on the sell side. I'm like a dark knight, if you get what I mean.
Why is he running, Dad?
Because we have to chase him.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Because he's the hero Gotham deserves. But not the one it needs right now. He's a silent guardian. A watchful protector. A dark knight.
So since 2016, I've been actually advocating this opinion, and it's controversial, yes. Lastly, just think of this. If your property value actually drops, like 1 million, it drops 30% to 700,000. Hey, guess what's the percentage that you need? If your property now valued at 700,000 at the time you buy the 1 million, guess how much you need it to increase just to break even, right? It's not 30%. You drop 30%, you need a 42% just to go back to the original value, just to actually break even. Think about that and, let me know if you get this point or not. So if you are woke financially, you wouldn't actually fall into this kind of trap. Sadly, school education system don't teach us that, and even doctor, lawyers, engineers fall into this trap all the time. But I bet you have never really seen this insight being presented to you this way, right? So to thank me for that, support me by giving this video a like. And if you want to have more lessons like this to outdo your peers, not make stupid mistakes, learn from the mistake of others, and outsmart all the financial salespeople out there, hit on subscribe, click on the notification bell, click on the yes if you think this perspective has been useful for you to make future decision when it comes to whether rental property or property investment is still worth it or not.